3 a.m. I really have turned into that guy. Okay, we are live. What's going on, everybody? I think most people are either going to see this later in their day or on the East Coast, so good stuff. Please forgive me as I sound like hell. Those of you who don't know me, especially on TikTok, I'm Rob Garcia. I do PR strategies in San Diego. I'm also a 15-time author and the creator of Shift Magazine. Today, we're going to be talking about books, reflecting on my 15 published book career, the books I wrote that I really liked, nuances, things to consider for you future authors out there, and a way to speed up your book writing process. So right at the gate, it's 3 a.m. I have definitely become one of those guys. I'm not going to be at this pace forever, but right now it serves me. So I've been getting up at like 3 or 4 a.m., starting my day. Yesterday, I banged out about 14 hours, interviewing interns, setting up payroll, like doing really boring business shit. But I'm setting up a very, very large PR firm in San Diego. So you got to do the foundational stuff. Pardon me as I take my old man pills and start waking up. All right. So as we go through this, if you are a future author, if you want to write books, stay tuned. I'm gonna drop some gold. I'm gonna teach you all kinds of cool shit and things I've learned. And you can always ask questions. You can always ask me about the process or writer's block or the actual physicality of publishing your book. I love talking about this stuff. The first thing I'll address, and I'm just freeforming this, I don't even have a script today. I ordered a stack of my old published books. I wrote all of these, and plus there's 4 more floating around out there. But I ordered these. It was like a time machine. And a lot of people have these rules in their head as to what authorship is or book publishing is. And I would tell you right now, get rid of all that shit. If you have ideas in your head about, oh, you have to do this to be an author, you have to do that, you don't have to do anything except what you want. There are 2 traditional routes. There are book publishing companies that issue you a contract, and they handle all your distribution and publication, and you take a big, big hit in your royalties if you're lucky enough to get a contract. The advantage is that you have a lot more reach. They pay for all your advertising and marketing, and they essentially do the whole process for you. The disadvantage is that sometimes if you're not paying attention, they will get all of your rights and your royalties go way, way down, and they kind of own you. They have they'll set stuff up for you, but if you have a contract with somebody, you have to deliver on their terms. A lot of people do still like contracts because it's easy money up front with less effort. Now, self-publishing, which I've always done, I wanted a contract in the early days, and then I realized, holy shit, self-publishing is easy. Once I figured out the process of self-publishing, I went on a tear. I'm like, holy shit, everyone should do this. So right out the gate, I'm not going to go through every single book I've ever written. I'm just going to go through the most significant, the most meaningful ones. I have a cool story. I don't want to bore you guys. So I came from extremely bad family, and Teen Juggernaut was the first one I did by myself. Like my first book that ever came out, Aiming Higher, was done by a friend. I paid a consulting fee too, and I wasn't really happy with the marketing results or the style of it or pretty much any of it. It just told my story about going from high school dropout to doctoral candidate and finally PhD. Teen Juggernaut was the first book I ever did by myself. I hired a kid out of SDSU that did manga, like drawings, anime and stuff. And I wanted something that would be fun to read for kids because this is more for preteens and teens. Teen Juggernaut, A Young Person's Guide by Rob Garcia. And it just talks about how your family is not a representative of you, and that just because you have a bad family doesn't mean you can't grow up and be an amazing person. It talks about how to learn better. It talks about how to do better in school, positive mental attitude, staying healthy. Like, this really should have taken off. And I did get on Fox News for it in San Diego once. And the problem with this is that I didn't know how to market back in the day, right? I didn't know like how to set up a press release or a campaign plan or whatever, because when I started like publishing these books, um, I this takes me way back. Uh, I want to say I did Teen Juggernaut. Oh God, I have to look up the dates for this because this is 10 or 15 years ago. It was a while. My whole life was different. I had a different company, but this was always one of my favorites because I related to it. And I feel like any kid who, you know, is coming home to two alcoholics trying to beat the shit out of each other, and there's cockroaches in the house and there's drugs everywhere. Like, this book will help them get through the trauma of that bullshit. And then who knows? Decades later, they're going to be doing TikTok lives at 48 years old, still reliving the horrors of their childhood. But Teen Juggernaut was one of my favorites. If you guys know a young person, you know, that could benefit from this, feel free to Google it. Teen Juggernaut, Rob Garcia. But this was one of my coworkers. Okay, piece of advice. One of my coworkers, way back in the day, told me, your book sucks and it belongs in a bargain bin at the Del Mar Book Fair. Del Mar Gun Show. That's what he said. It belongs in a bargain bin at the Del Mar Gun Show. And I remember he said that, and I'm like, what a jealous piece of shit. And then a few weeks later, I got on Fox News for it. So fuck you, Pablo. That's how that works. I've been interviewed 255 times since then. So don't listen to your haters. Don't listen to detractors. And in fact, don't ever utter the phrase, I'm going to write a book. People that are going to do it, do it. They don't brag about it. They don't fucking talk about it in the future like it's some grandiose event. Just write the fucking thing. Don't spend time ruminating on it. Sorry, I take supplements first thing in the morning. Keep me going. And then plant-based nootropics, and they do help. All right. On the TikTok side of the house, we got Laura, Marion, Cowboy Up, Landon. What's going on, guys? If you guys have any questions about being an author or what your book would be about or the process of self-publishing, just fire them in comments, and I'll be happy to answer them. So Teen Juggernaut was a cool one. A lot of my stuff back then was to help people to have better lives. And when you try and do that, there is a natural pushback sometimes from really bitter people online. So I wrote Utopia, a free guide to success in San Diego, and then San Diego 2016 technical career guide. This one listed out a bunch of technical careers and apprenticeships, paid apprenticeships that you can sign up for, and a lot of them are still applicable. San Diego has a ton of paid apprenticeships. People don't know about a lot of these. And back then I was a high school teacher, so I was really about like inspiring kids to, you know, learn the trades. Trades are good for some people. You can't sit still in class if you're hyperactive, ADHD. Go be a plumber, go be a welder, go work at the shipyard, go like, you know, get a union job, IBEW, running wire and be a sound technician. Like it's really good for kids like me that were unable to focus in the classroom. Let's see, going through this, I then started to understand that learning was a big deal for me. And I wrote a speed learning guide, one of the first ones ever made, called The Next Level. I didn't like this cover, and it wasn't my cover guy's fault. My cover guy's awesome. It was more, he did what I told him to. And then when the final result came out, I looked at it and I'm like, dude, that looks like a Prince album. Like, how does this relate to speed learning? And I wanted something cosmic that denoted genius, but I like the color, but it just didn't do it for me. And I realized, I'm like, hey, I need to come back to this, and I need to revisit this and make it better. And so I ended up making another revision called The Next Level Supercharged. And this is the one I'm really proud of. This marked the last book I wrote for a long time. I took a break for years after The Next Level Supercharged. I actually got some sales out of this, and I marketed it. I still didn't do like a giant push. I didn't contact the news. I didn't like really go crazy. Now that I have interns, I'm doing a re-release of this and pushing to get on the news for this. The Next Level Supercharged will help you get better at almost any job or skill, especially if you're taking on a new job and you're not sure what to do and you're kind of intimidated because you don't feel like you're smart enough to do the job. The Next Level Supercharged can definitely help you think better. 16 learning techniques, the situation that they're applicable for. So, for example, if you want to learn like martial arts or a musical instrument, repetition, right? And it explains all of them, the advantages, disadvantages. And then what's cool about this one is it's got 5 people that use next level techniques in order to get ahead. Like Frankie Hill. I interviewed Frankie Hill, my skateboarding childhood hero, and his learning technique was immersion. He jumped right into skateboarding, just got out and did the thing. Immersion allowed him to become the greatest street skateboarder of the early 90s and known as the first skateboarding stuntman. And then it's got fillable worksheets. But I'm really proud of the Next Level Supercharged. It is it's a book that can help people that have like issues with learning or like being more confident in school. I interviewed such cool people in this, and then I invented the GMOS, the Garcia model of skills comprehension. And this just tells you where you're at in learning a job or skill. Like this is the literal vertical pyramid. So you got awareness, familiar, proficient, master, expert, and you can put this up against like any skill that you're trying to learn. Next Level Supercharged is all about speed learning. It might be, and I've done searches, it might be the only speed learning book in the country. I don't know why I'm not sitting on a giant Scrooge McDuck pile of money with this bad boy. Once I circle around, I'm absolutely going to do a big campaign for this. So if you see a big red book called The Next Level Supercharged, it's like, oh, hey, it's a crazy guy I saw on TikTok. What's really funny is I took these techniques and with no experience started my own PR firm. And I started doing like just self-learning techniques and learn PR, taught myself. And now I own GarciaGlobalMedia.com, which is amazing. This shit really works. So after I took a little hiatus for a bit, I ended up writing. A buddy of mine hired me, and we wrote From Boots to Business. It's a biography by Mike Rannigan. We haven't released this yet. It is a phenomenal book. Mike's story is wild. He's a wonderful human being, a great business mentor. His wife is amazing too, Rochelle. Mike was a Navy corpsman. He saw combat, and he did not have the easiest childhood. Him and I had some really deep conversations about what it's like having a rough childhood. And he saw combat, came back, had some PTSD, like just had to find himself. And he became immensely spiritual, found his faith. Him and Rochelle went through their highs and their lows, but have an amazing marriage, great kids. And Mike is truly one of those people that when the phone rings and you see it's him, you pick up because he's going to enlighten you. You know, whatever he says, like, is just going to like change the way you look at the world. Truly grateful to get to work for him. And we will be at the point where we will release this at some point From Boots to Business. Mike, let's go. Mike Rannigan, let's get this out to the world. People love this. And it's also got like a 30-day self-discovery journal where you can like be a better person in 30 days. It's got a nutrition guide. So many great things to help you be a better person and emulate somebody that's done very well in life. Mike is a roofing, I don't even know what to call it. Like the word I think is magnet with an E, magnate. But he started a successful roofing company, Doc's Roofing in Texas. And I've learned a lot in business from him as well. So then I just went on a tear about 2 years ago, and I wrote 5 books in a year. I can't even believe I did that many. With Kate Monroe, I wrote a political book called The Race to Save America. We wrote Wake Up Ready together, and then this monster. So this was historical. Kate Monroe, CEO of VetCom, former Marine, is like, hey, I got a concept for a military action novel. It's like military fiction with events from my life. Can you make a story about this? I've never written fiction before, ever. The Body Man. And it is, if there are ladies watching this, okay, first of all, this is 50 Shades meets Tom Clancy. Evelyn James, a beautiful CEO in San Diego, has threats on her life because she's super outspoken, and she has to bring in Dallas Rogers, who's former special operations, to rescue her or to actually protect her. And then in the second half of the book, she's kidnapped by cartel members, taken to Mexico, and Dallas has to get his team of like retired veterans, and they go into Mexico and do a daring rescue. Um, it is pure action. I had a lot of fun with this, and I put a lot of military references in it, stuff that's from my own life as a 25-year veteran of the Air Force. I didn't put in the caviar trough or the tennis lessons, but the other stuff, yeah. I'm actually in this. I actually have a character with my name, with my own personality traits in this. And then if you want to know more about this, Kate Monroe, who wrote this with me, actually filmed a trailer. You can find it at bodymanbook.com, and it's movie grade. It is unbelievable. You'll feel like you're watching Reacher. Check it out, bodymanbook.com. It is a phenomenal trailer, and you can pick up the book if you want to. It's over 300 pages, and I promise you there are ups, downs, twists, betrayals, romance, action. There's something for everyone in The Body Man. And Kate, I mean, I don't know if I can make this announcement, but I think it's pretty public knowledge. Kate's turning this into a movie. She literally has a Hollywood producer like writing the screenplay as we speak, and it's somebody pretty famous. They start filming a movie for this in the summer. So my first military fiction book I ever wrote is going to be a movie. I haven't been exactly quiet about it, but I haven't been exactly shouting it from the rooftops either. More just because I'm waiting for it to get a little closer to production. And then I'll probably just start talking shit like Ric Flair, like really getting out there and let people know. But yeah, The Body Man was my first venture into fiction. I absolutely love it. Thank you, Kate Monroe, for bringing me into this world. A lot of people don't know this, but the Body Man sequel is actually like finished, and we're just doing a couple of revisions, and we actually expanded the series. So we went from 3 books to 5. So the sequel that I wrote is actually going to be Body Man 3. So I'm now writing what will be Body Man 2. I know it's very, very confusing, but this is what happens when you have a wild, writing history. And we got Sergeant Big Country popping on. What's up, man? We will be working on your book at some point. You definitely have a lot of potential for that book stuff. And then after that, I realized, like yesterday when I started counting, and when all these books arrived in the mail, I realized, dude, you're not 13, you're 15. You're a 15-time author. It's like, holy shit. So I ended up writing One Day Author, showing people just how to bang out books, and without sacrificing quality. Because anybody can put out a book like super fast. It's not that hard, but I talk about still creating quality product without sacrificing the integrity of the read. One Day Author, you can actually find this online. Just Google One Day Author, Rob Garcia. And what this is speed publishing. So if you want to be an author, right? You're David Christine, you're Gabby Hallfire. You want to be an author. You want to have a book out. You want to get royalty checks, right? This book tells you everything. This book tells you the exact website to use. This book tells you writing tips, formatting your Word documents, and then how to get past like writer's block, how to stay creative, ideas for your cover. This looks like a small book. This is your publishing Bible. Okay. Once again, I've written all these cool books. I've barely marketed any of them just because I'm busy with like other projects, but I'm sitting on this guy, but this guy can be bought. Like you can Google One Day Author, Rob Garcia, if you're serious about being an author, because this is why. I did something really smart that nobody has ever done, ever. A lot of people can teach you how to self-publish, right? They teach you the tips, teach you the guides, but a lot of them don't own PR companies. So guess what? You go through this, you get your book done, you get it issued, and now, and I even did step-by-step with some photos to help you through the website. And then what's really exciting, once your book is done, you turn to page 110, you scan the QR code, and you have press release templates. Yes, Rob hooked you up with done for you press release templates. So I got one for fiction, I got one for nonfiction, done for you press release. How awesome is that? Nobody has a book like this. And then if that's not enough, okay, I teach you how to pitch the news for it very easily. And I even wrote the pitch. Once your book's done, you can pitch the news. I tell you exactly how I do it. I've gotten 36 people on TV. And then, as if that wasn't enough, because I love you guys, a 30-day Facebook book campaign telling you exactly what kind of posts to write. So if you're serious about being an author, One Day Author is the way to go. You'll find it online. Just go One Day Author, Rob Garcia. But this will help you guys. And this is something I'm going to be pitching pretty hard. Probably in April. I'm just trying to like kind of balance everything out because I have so much going on. Hence why I got up today at 3 a.m. It was actually more like 2:30, but just because I'm working on a lot of projects, but still having fun with it. So anyway, I wrote all these crazy books, and I just stopped giving a shit what people thought. I stopped reacting to people's criticisms because the world is full of untalented, broke, miserable people that have nothing except negativity. And you don't have to listen to them. You don't have to let them get in your head. I made my own success. I made my own results. And I did it by tuning out negative people and just deciding, hey, I'm just going to do what I want to do. And if anyone wants to criticize me, they can go fuck themselves. And I even had a concept for it in Teen Juggernaut. It's called Determination of Self. It means that you are the mastery of your own destiny. What happens to you is a result of your decisions, and take accountability for what you're doing. Determination of Self has helped me through a lot of tough times. I outlined the concept of it in Teen Juggernaut way back in the day because it's important for teenagers to understand, hey, get over the concept of fair. Life is not fair. There are things that are going to kick you in the face, and you need to prepare for failure. My buddy Rue is on here. Rue's a former Marine, and I'm really proud of Rue because he gets up and he does his treadmill every day because he's on his fitness journey, and he's always like posting Facebook Lives, talking about life philosophy, business stuff. Rue is a much better businessman than I am. He's more organized, and so it's always cool to learn from him. But he also has a really good attitude, and that's everything in business entrepreneurship. If people like you, they will work with you. So Rue, you get a shout out, dude. If you want to shout out any businesses or drop links, go ahead, man. So understand, if you have the desire to be a self-published author, you're talking to somebody who did it 15 times. It's not nearly as nerve-wracking as you think. I would make a content map first. I always like strategize. I always get graph paper out, and I write 10 to 15 chapter ideas with 3 subtopics for every chapter if you're writing nonfiction. And then don't forget your design elements, front matter. And I'm going to explain really quick why you will have to write less than you think. So if you're writing a book and you're like, that's going to take forever. Oh my God, it takes people years. You know how long it took me? 9 hours. Dead serious. I think it was Thanksgiving. I just wrote a book. It's like, okay, 9 hours. I'm talking from idea to publish, everything, cover, illustration. I made this. Writing a book, not that hard if you're willing to do the work. But then again, I'm a speed learning expert, so I know how to hand jam stuff really, really quick. So let's see. This is why writing a book goes faster than you think with the right preparation. So once you have your strategy map outlined, so you know your writing ideas, understand that, first of all, when you're mapping out like how long the book is going to be, between 200 and 300 pages usually, however many pages you write in Microsoft Word, you get to multiply that by 2.5 times, which you shrink it down to book size. In my case, it's usually 6 inches by 9 inches. Once you set margins and all that good stuff, one page is 2.5 book pages. So now you have this multiplier, which helps. Your front matter is going to be 5 to 7 pages. Front matter is your quotations, acknowledgments, past books you've written, table of contents, what people are saying about you. So front matter is 5 to 7 pages, title page, copyright stuff, all that shit. And then if you want, you can have a title page for each chapter. So if you have 12 chapters, that's now 12 pages of title pages. And then you have your bio page. You can have a summary page if you want, summarizing the key points of each chapter. So now if each chapter, let's say you got 10, you got 10 chapters, 10 chapters at 12 book pages apiece is 120, plus a title page and a summary page. So that's another 20. So that's 140, 7 for front matter. So that's now 127. And it's 3 a.m. So bear with me. And then a bio page. So you can see this thing is not nearly as long as you think it is. It goes by really, really fast, especially if you're free flowing and you're really jamming out the writing, you're in a zone. When I was writing Body Man, I did use a little Chat GPT, I'm not going to lie, because it's a military book, so I have to have orders in here to make it legit. So the military readers are like, oh, he's got legit military orders, just like most military novels. Chat GPT was perfect for that. I don't advise you use ChatGPT to write your book because it misses emotional context. It's not funny. It's not always in alignment with your literary goals. And the characters are going to interact really, really weirdly. They're going to say things that the character wouldn't say in character to their personality. But here's what you can do with ChatGPT. This is gold. This is the real value of Raw Dogger and Cody Hacker watching this. And Louis Rivera with a falling down meme, I believe. Oh no, maybe it's you standing by something. God, I thought it was falling down. That's a great movie. So ChatGPT can be used to create templates for your book in the context of, hey, write a chapter template. The chapter's about this. The book is about this. I want to cover the following 5 areas. And it will kick out something that's about 75% accurate and allow you to grab that and then expand upon it. But the real value, especially with the Body Man, when I wrote my fiction book, the real value is creative expansion. Okay. So like, hey, what are 10 ways Evelyn can get into danger? What are 10 ways, 10 plot twists that people won't see coming? And it came up with some doozies. Holy shit. Dallas betrays her. Evelyn is shot and everyone thinks she's dead. An old love comes back from her past, a high school sweetheart, and betrays her. All this crazy shit, Cheryl Mason. But it's ChatGPT for authors is especially good for plot twists and for coming up with ideas you wouldn't come up with on your own. When I was writing The Body Man, it was literally me being in a zone, like waking up 2, 3 a.m. and just jamming out chapters, a little bit of ChatGPT, but really falling in love with the characters and enjoying what I was writing about. And it's funny. The Body Man's funny. It's got a lot of dark military humor. It's got a lot of interaction between the characters and a lot of pivot on a dime plot twist that you won't see coming. Stuff that'll surprise you. I actually enjoyed the second Body Man more. It's called Body Man Hard Time, and one of Dallas's team members gets sent to like federal prison in Arizona for the shit they did in Mexico in the first one. And there are cartel members there from the cartel they fucking rescued Evelyn from, and they have to break him out of prison. And Evelyn is the governor now, and she's doing everything in her power to get her team member out, Liam. And I really enjoyed the prison aspect of it, it felt like early stage Reacher. Um, a lot of hostage stuff, a lot of interaction with cartel members, a lot of like fights in the yard. Liam just trying to keep his head down while these cartel fucks are just messing with him every single day. A little bit of like shot collar. But The Body Man Hard Time is actually, it might even be my favorite book I've written. I've actually had nights where I've drank wine and read it. Sib Div, hey buddy. I've had nights where I've drank wine and cried a little reading the second Body Man just because I got so into the characters. Like they feel like they're real. I write about really emotional things that happen to people that really hit them at their psychological core. I write about gray characters that are neither good nor bad, that are just trying to get by and that make morally ambiguous choices or put in a spot where they have to decide, hey, am I going to do this? Am I going to do that? You know, what are the ramifications? But I really got into the Body Man series because I can relate to a lot of the characters. They're almost all military characters. They all have their own motivations. They all have their own traumas, their own pain. Dallas is the centerpiece, and he's not a complex dude. He's just, he's kind of a meathead. He's like a big dude that's been doing counterterrorism most of his life. And then Evelyn James is this younger, like hot CEO who's kind of mouthy. And she's very passionate about the border and trafficking and trying to make the world a better place using her influence. And she's based off of Kate Monroe. And Kate told me all these details about her life. And Kate was threatened. Kate was going down to the border with Fox News cameras and putting up barbed wire. And it's not a political thing. It's not a Republican or Democrat thing. It's more just border security. Hey, it's important. This is how people are trafficked. This is how drugs get over, all this shit. And so she got a bunch of threats, and they actually said, hey, we got a credible threat that if you go to Mexico, the cartel's going to kidnap you instantly. And so Kate's like, this would make a really good novel. Hey, Rob, can you write this about my life? I was like, fuck yeah. So if you want to see an amazing trailer that will change your life, I'm serious, it's really good. Bodymanbook.com. Kate hired actual Navy SEALs, went down to the border, like near the border, and filmed it. The trailer is spectacular, and the beautiful blonde woman in the trailer is Kate, like Kate Monroe. She ran for Congress. She's my boss, kind of. I'm the director of strategy for her company, VetCom, but she's also a PR consulting client. We have a very interesting business relationship. But we wrote Wake Up Ready together. We wrote The Body Man, and we wrote The Race to Save America. So I'm pretty much her publishing arm. Donnie Bovine, holy shit. I haven't seen you in a while. Hope you're doing well. You were on you interviewed me when I came back from the Middle East. It was a great interview, and you did a spectacular job. Spectacular job with your media package. I remember I bought the upgrade, and the stuff you gave me was really, really good for promotion. If you guys don't know Donnie Bovine, he is a veteran. He is immensely good at business. He has a program, I think, called Donnie Success Champions, but he is one of the most successful people I've met in the veteran space. Works really hard, and he really does know his shit. Check out Donnie Bovine if you want to be better at business. There you go, Donnie. You got the plug. One vet to another. I always shout out people that provide excellent service and that have high production value. That's a big deal. So anyway, when you're thinking about your book, you're thinking about what type to write. Some people want to write autobiographies about their life if they have a crazy story like I did. Some people want to write nonfiction. Some people want to write fiction. There's a guy, J.F. Holmes, who has an entire fiction publishing house. It's military sci-fi, and his books are really, really fucking good. Canon Publishing is what it's called. And he sent me an anthology. I love anthologies. It's just like little short stories of various military authors, and it was really good. But the book writing process, guys, this is more, I'm going to get into mindset of an author. The book writing process is not nearly as daunting as you might think. And if you really want to write a book, stop telling people you're going to do it and just sit down and do the fucking thing. If you're really passionate about it, Roger and Hellfire, if you're really passionate about it, you just get out. It starts with a piece of paper. It starts, and I'll know you're serious when you have a piece of paper. with 10 to 12 chapter ideas on it. And once you have that, and then 3 subtitles for each chapter, you have your outline. And once you have that, then you start looking at the other parts of the book. Okay. So you have that, figure out your front matter, you know, what people are saying about you, some quotes, maybe a preface, your own words, like a little rambling diatribe. And then your bio page, table of contents, all that good stuff. And then you just start writing. And sometimes you're in flow, sometimes you're not. The writing process is interesting. There are days when I just had to take a little time off and then come back to it. And I'd go out and get dinner or something. And I always take pen and paper with me because I'm a loner and kind of a psycho. And I would have a flash of light, like, hey, oh man, Dallas should do this with Evelyn, or he should tie her up and, you know, put a dog collar on her because it would turn her on. Whatever. Like, you'll have these wild ideas for writing. So write them down and then bring them back to the novel. I will tell you right now, set your margins as soon as you start. You want your Microsoft Word document formatted to your book. This is like the number one thing I would foot stomp, and this is why. Kat, you're watching this. Let's say you want to write a book, right? You're watching it. You want to write a book. There's nothing worse than getting all your book done in Microsoft Word and then realizing, oh shit, this is not book size. This is 8.5 by 11 size, like a regular, you know, Word doc. Format your Word doc before you start typing. Format your Word doc. Okay? And all you have to do, Google it. It's just page and then page setup, page layout. I think it's under file, page setup or page layout. And then it lets you pick the height and width. So just for reference, this is 6 by 9. So if you like this book, it's 9 inches tall by 6 inches wide. And then once you format it, it is going to actually make your margins. You can adjust these. You can make them wider, bigger, whatever. And it will make your margins so that when you're writing, it automatically fits. And once you're done, you upload it to the site that's outlined here. Another thing people don't know, self-publishing is free. Self-publishing is free. And with the What's Up, Knack and Juan Fuentes, once your book is done, it's a drop shipping model. In One Day Author, I outline the model, the website you can use, and it is completely free. It's drop shipped, so you don't have to have inventory. They give you a sale page, and then people just buy from you. And guess what? You start getting royalty payments. So every time someone buys, guess what? Either get a check or they deposit it to your PayPal. It is a phenomenal system. Bringing power to the people, man. Let us be our own entity, which is great. Good source of revenue. So anyway, that's about it. I'm going to wrap up. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this author workshop. And I'll leave you with this final piece of advice. If you want to be an author, start today. Don't be that person saying, hey, I'm going to write a book one day. I'm going to get to it one day. I want to be an author one day. One day will never come. If you ever say that phrase, one day, you're going to sit on this shit till you're 60. And by then, you know, you're not going to have that motivation, that fire. You'll be a little more subdued, just chilling in the retirement home. Write your fucking book today. I didn't say one day. I just did it, right? I didn't pontificate sitting back and telling all my friends, like, one day I'm going to be an author. I'm going to blah, blah, blah. No, I sat down, got out my graph paper, I wrote out some ideas about my shitty childhood, and then I figured out how to self-publish, and I started off with Teen Juggernaut, and then I just went fucking crazy. And then before I knew it, I had 15 books down by the time I was like 48. And I'll tell you this, if I wasn't so busy with other projects that I super love, I would probably have 5 more books done. I would write about my life. I would write about PR. I would write about business tactics. I would write about, how I went from a high school and college dropout to PhD, like the immense amount of discipline that I had to channel to get all this shit done. Like, I would write the most phenomenal book about development, personal development, embracing spirituality in a business, how it like benefited me, all this different shit. But right now, I'm the founder of a magazine. I own a PR firm. I have one-on-one PR clients, and I'm an Air Force reservist, so you got to kind of like figure out your time properly, which is why I'm recording this at 3:49 a.m. San Diego. Your time is more valuable than ever. So that's my final piece of advice, Phyllis, Katie. All right. So if you want to be an author, just start. This could be you. These are all books I've written, and it feels awesome. It gives you a lot of credibility in business. And if you need help, I really am not pitching this, but I know there's a few people that need the help with the self-publishing process. Google One Day Author, Rob Garcia. Pick this up. And like I said, this book looks small, but there's a ton of value in this for authors. It tells the entire process of how to self-publish, how to creatively map out your content, how to get past writer's block, and then QR codes for press releases are in this, 30-day Facebook marketing plan, and then a pitch for the news so you can get on TV with your book. So the book is One Day Author, Rob Garcia, How to Write and Publish Your Book in 24 Hours. And to prove the model, I wrote and published this from an idea in 9 hours. It took me 9 hours to get this done. So I outline the techniques for it. Check it out. Become an author. Reach out to me when it's done. Say, hey, Rob, you inspired me. I got my book done. I'm making money. I bought a Cadillac, and life is good. And I found the love of my life, all because you taught me about One Day Author and how to be awesome. And that would make me really, really happy. All right. That's all I got for today. Thank you, guys. If you enjoy this content, especially on TikTok, feel free to like my profile, become a follower. I usually make videos about entrepreneurship, about writing, about PR, all kinds of interesting shit. I try and keep it fun. But I just love seeing you guys live your dreams. And if I can share any of the knowledge that I've acquired in 48 years on this earth, I'm happy to do it. So anyway, that's all I got for today, guys. Wow, this was an early morning broadcast just to shake the cobwebs off. But I'm Rob Garcia, the Warrior Strategist out of San Diego. I hope you guys have an amazing day. If you guys want to know more or want to talk about PR stuff, check out GarciaGlobalMedia.com. I will see you next time. And as always, stay famous.